Welcome everyone to this Filmfest Q&A for our competition film Los Lobos, The Wolves, a Mexican film directed by Samuel Kishi. Welcome.
Thank you so much for this great invitation.
Joining us from Guadalajara, Mexico.
Viva Mexico.
Let's maybe start with an unusual question, but I had to think about this, and I have been thinking about it for the last couple of days, because I saw the film a few months ago already, and obviously Trump was still running the U.S. at that time, and Biden has now been elected. Do you think that this particular change might change the way in which people see or perceive the movie?
I'm not really sure about that. I think most the empathy with the film, it's the isolation with the COVID thing, not with the Trump and Biden team. No, even the immigrant issues are very complex, even with the Republicans and the Democrats. If we remember, when Obama was the American president, he deported a lot of immigrants. The numbers are amazing. Are very, very big. Also with Trump. No, but I hope that the film start to build the bridges with the people and make this exercise of empathy and solidarity. So yeah, for me to make this film, it was I want to make this film to have an approach with the public, with another kind of audience. I was thinking about and not to make a film only for film festivals and critics. I want to make a film for my mother, for my community in the community when I grow up in the United States, in the community in Mexico, in Guadalajara, in my neighborhood, so they can feel this honest approach.
I mean, for me, of course, it's a sort of sneaky way to try and ask how political you think the movie is. Because, I mean, it is a movie that's told very close to the perspective of children. So you would assume that maybe it's not that political, but at the same time, of course, it is very, I mean, the subjects underneath are very political.
Yeah, no, everything in cinema and art is political. It's a political act. So, yeah, even if the Los Lobos has this approach with it's a coming of age, but has another speech, both the speech. Yeah, it's a coming of age, but it's also, I think it's a part of political film, but not like a flag film that this is only a political film. Yeah.
No, I think, I mean, because you stay close to the kids and because you don't know much more than the kids know, it's a sort of like very innocent approach to a very complex issue. How did you decide that you had to stay close to the perspective of the kids, so that was the right way to tell the story, and not follow the mother on her own, for example, like only see the mother when the kids see her?
Well, Los Lobos is a semi-autobiographical film, so it's based in my childhood memories, and for me, I want to make this approach because, well, I remember it was very tough, like an immigrant child, but my mother absorbs a lot of the impact with these games, with this recorder and the stories and the English lessons and everything. So for me, it was to make this balance, to make this innocence perspective and mix with this very tough issue. So the look of the child even absorb the hard impact even with the audience. So I want to make a tender movie, a tender film, I don't know if it has any sense, but I think the tenderness is the new punk. So for me, that's my flag right now. So because I believe in make in these bridges with the audience. So this childhood look, uh, I think it was more has a more impact to the audience. And I was having another issue when I was designing if we want to talk about the mother perspective of the child's perspective. So one of them was how we can make a film that was not a cliche, because well, here in Mexico we do a lot of films with these immigrant issues. So well, taking the child perspective, I think it was a little more refreshing. And another thing I was very worried was about the film start when the family arrives in the United States. We don't see the trip. And most of the immigrant films, we see the trip and the a lot of kind of trips, even in train with the beast and the immigrant police and a lot of these things. And no, for me was very different how to make this question that, okay, we're here, now what's happening, how we can integrate to this society, how can build a home, how can this empty and cold space transform in a warm place who we can call home.
I mean, the locations are, of course, very important. And I think, I mean, it's quite courageous to write a movie where most of it happens in an empty apartment. But I guess that was part of the challenge for you then.
Yeah, it was. Even I remember in the pre-production process, I was talking with Ina Payan, the producer of the film. And Ina told me, Sam, we have to save money, and maybe we can make the film part in Guadalajara or in Mexico City and build the apartment. But for me, it was I don't know how can I say a deal breaker, because I think the city, the neighborhood is another character. So the kids are looking through the window all the time, and they are watching the neighborhood, they are watching the people in the neighborhood. So for me was very rich to record and film in Albuquerque in this neighborhood, because we cut the film production day with the kids and then go out to the streets and talk with the people and make portraits with the people and make portraits of the city, of the neighborhood. And it was marvelous, because I wasn't thinking about this when Sofia Gomez Cordova, Luis Briones, the co-writers, and I were writing the film. But when I approached to the neighborhood, I see this is another. This is a biggest approach. This is very rich. See these people, and I was thinking, yeah, what kind of society are integrating or family the Los Lobos? What kind of society is new society, is new neighborhood? So when we're doing the montage process, the editing process, we're start to do this little exercise with the portraits. And I remember in the production part, I start to do these portraits and make a portrait of the family. So in the montage, we're doing this montage with the portraits, and at the end, well, this is a little spoiler, but we can see how the family is integrating to this new society. So yeah, I think that this makes more living cinema, more powerful cinema. So I don't believe I am a great writer. We do this big like scripts, like a Bible scripts. No, no, no. I think that the cinema has to be very, very honest with a lot of life.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was very interesting is that obviously the mother tells the kids you can't go outside. I mean, they don't even speak English yet, and I think it might have had a different resonance and idea when you made it, and then now when we're watching it with all the people in lockdown, and I mean, people can't really go anywhere. So I was just wondering whether the reception of that has been different, or it has been easier maybe for people to relate to the kids on that level as well.
Yeah, it was really, really different because right now everybody we understand not only these Lobos kids, we understand a lot of kids who are living this kind of life, the isolation, waiting every day in this solitude. So yeah, it was different approach. I remember we have or premiere Asian premiere in Korea, in Busan, and was very different this approach when we have our American premiere in Miami. So in Miami it was 2020, and everybody said, "Yeah, I understand what the thoughts of these kids who were living." So yeah, for me it was marvelous to everybody understand the painful of the isolation and how it affect everybody. So it was again more how can I say, it was like more empathy for the audience.
Yeah, no, I think actually it makes it easier for us to relate to the kids, even though we're not maybe immigrants and we weren't in some place where as kids we were told we couldn't go out. But here, I mean, yeah, that sense of isolation and wanting to go out and being curious and needing physical and contact and talking to people is just extremely relatable right now. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and even with the animation part, it's like the alter ego parts of the kids. They want to go out and live these adventures and everything. Like us, we have to connect with the exterior world, because if we don't connect with I don't know, with tools, or I don't know, with everything, it's approach of us, we're gonna maybe we're gonna go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think in that sense it really tells a lot about human connection in general, and I think just because of the period we're living in, it underlines it even more than maybe when you were making the movie. It makes it even more powerful, for sure. I have another question about the locations, because you're staying very close to the kids' perspective. For most of the time, the apartment is empty, pretty empty. But at one point, they accompany their mother and they go to this big warehouse where she works. I'm just wondering a little bit about that particular shot where you have the big American flag there on the wall, and she's like a tiny little cleaner in front of it.
Yeah.
And then on both sides of left and right, you have all this like imported goods that you see from the US, which I also thought was very interesting. I was just sort of wondering to what extent are images like that, they're sort of metaphors, of course. How to what extent are they important, and to what extent were you trying to just remain in a sort of realism or a naturalism in the movie?
Yeah, for me it was really important to make these metaphors and to talk about the real American dream. What kind of new society there are? They have this approach. They're integrating and to make this really, really honest film. This is not Disney. This is a not Disney film, but and not with words. I believe cinema is sound and image, and I can play with this image to make a very more strong speech. So I remember when we're doing the scouting and looking for a lot of works to put to Lucia, we found this warehouse, big warehouse, and I see this big flag, and I said, "This is the place. We can put this." And I remember when another thing when I was doing the research for the film, I was thinking about how the immigrants were like a ghost of the system. So we're like under the system too, invisible people. So for me, this is the shot who contains a lot of these things. This lady walking with the in the bottom of this big flag and walking, and you see this little woman. So for me, that this shot content a lot of things in the film.
Yeah, for me, it's one of the key shots. I mean, it has really stayed with me. Like, you see this tiny little cleaning lady and then this huge American flag in this warehouse. Yeah, I mean, it says a lot, I think, about where they are and why they came there, but also like how much road they still have to go, and who knows if they'll really get there. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very strong image, I think, that has really stayed with me. I want to talk a little bit about your choice to work with young protagonists, because your previous film, Somos Maripepa, your Maripepa is old, it was with teenagers, so a little bit older,
Yeah.
But also kids or non-adults in any case. So I was just wondering, what do you like so much about working with or telling stories about younger people?
Well, I love coming of age, and yeah, this is a critical point of our life when we pass with in make this mature pass from this age to another age. So also in where Maripepa is a coming of age, and Los Lobos, yeah, it's an immigrant drama, but it contains everything in a coming of age, because I think that the protagonist is Max, and Max is discovering the reasons of his mother and who was his father. So when Max discovered that, he grew up prematurely, yeah, but he grew up to understand his mother and make this little act of solidarity. And yeah, for me, it's amazing to work with young people for that reason. But I think that the freshness of the acting and the improvisation, and I love the cinema who feels live. So even if I do, I don't know if it has makes sense, but if I do a coming of age of a middle man or middle woman age, yeah, I love this how we can go to this age and change something of our lives. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think that's a great point to wrap up this conversation. Just maybe one word, if you're already working on a new feature, is it going to be another coming of age in some way, or will it be something different?
Well, I'm working in 3 feature films right now. One of them is with Alex, the protagonist of my first film, We're Maripepa. And yeah, it's like the same, like a little coming of age too. And I'm working in another film who is also a coming of age, a teenage boy in Lagos de Moreno in Jalisco. It's in the 90s. And well, I'm working in another, but that is not a coming of age. It's like two older couple, ancients from Oaxaca, who start a trip looking for his granddaughter. It's a mix with it's a social drama with little touch of new Western. Yeah, so I have to diversify the projects. Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get to see those in Luxembourg as well. Thank you very much for this conversation.
No, thank you so much, and apologies for my rusty English, but thank you.
You're fine. Thank you.